Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back to iAllegedly. And I've got a good one for you because 2026 is going to punish the unprepared, and you don't want to be one of those people. Like, subscribe, and one thing I forgot to tell you is that the website's being updated right now because it's the holiday. I'm not grinding on these guys to finish it, so it'll be done any day now. But if you need to get a hold of me, you need to use the old email address, which is iallegedly@gmail. iallegedly@gmail.com. iallegedly@gmail.com temporarily, and then it gets shut off again once the website gets back up. But let's get right into it. A few things. Real estate in 2026 is going to be very, very interesting for a lot of reasons, because you're going to see a lot of problems in key markets that were incredibly successful. One thing that we saw in October was we saw almost 16% of all real estate contracts getting canceled across the country. And then you go, oh, wow, well, that's bad, Dan. Well, what's next? Then you've got pockets of horror. And the pockets of horror, places like Texas, Austin, you've got areas in Florida that are just abysmal as far as the real estate transactions, time on market, and the problems that people are having left and right. But a few key facts. Fort Lauderdale in the last month saw 20% of all pending real estate transactions fall out. 20%. 1 in 5 contracts fell out of escrow for whatever reason. Canceled it. We don't want to do it. And that's in addition to the people that just, God, I don't want to sell anymore. Now you've got 2 areas of failure right now. The next one is Miami. 17.6 canceled their transaction. 17.6. Orlando, that's up even higher, 19.1. And Jacksonville at 19.2%. Buyers are getting cold feet for 1,000 reasons, but starting to look at the instability of their income, starting to realize, hey, I don't have any money. I'm not going to make any money right now, and I'm going to make less. I'll tell you guys a couple stories towards the end of this video, and it won't be a very long one today, but I just want to tell you that people need to plan on the what if, and the what if is I'm not going to make any more money this year. And you have to look at that. And I get people that write me, maybe in your business that's how it is, but in my business I make 15 to 18% more every year. Okay, sure you do. Yeah, you're the guy that's not getting affected by this. Real estate prices rose sharply after COVID, and now they're just, you've got areas of disaster. Start with the condo market. People don't realize how bad these condos are and these homeowner associations. I can show you a condo in Las Vegas that is under $300,000 in a high-rise, beautiful building. The only problem is that the HOA fees are almost $1,500 a month. Hello. Well, what were they a year ago? Oh, about 6. So they're going up left and right. There is zero control over this right now, and you haven't seen anything yet. Well, Dan, insurance has gone up through the roof, and our electrical bills and everything else with it. Okay, it's just getting worse and worse and worse around us. People want to own a home. I get it, but people don't look at pen to paper. Here's a few things that are happening. People go out and buy a home, and one dirty trick, and there is, the Horton Group is doing, they're getting sued for this, is they're pricing your taxes in your payment based on the raw land. Great. Fantastic. What is it with the house on it? Put my impound account with the house on it. People are waking up with a tax bill that was due on the 31st of December for their first installment for thousands of dollars. Some of these are over $10,000 in tax payments that they didn't expect. And when I spoke to our county tax collector here this last week, they explained to me, oh, this is a really common thing that people do is, here's the payment, here's the payment, here's the payment. You happy? Oh, God, honey, we can afford that. And then, they get hit with the supplemental tax bill. The lender's gotten their commission, real estate agents gotten their commission, everybody's done, but you're not prepared for that. One thing that I have told people time and again is to make sure that you can get a reasonable rate for your insurance. With the debacle of the California fires, I want you to think about this. Fires happened in January. 1 week from now, it will be 1 year that those fires happened in January. Joe Biden was president. Joe Biden came out with Gavin Newsom. The federal government will give you anything you need. And don't worry, we're going to rebuild. Everything's going to be fantastic. We have seen nothing. You've seen less than 4 houses that have been completed over the course of the last year. There have been less than a few dozen building permits issued. And the insurance companies are refusing to pay people on technicalities and nonsense and criminality because you don't get it. You don't get it. You know, that's not covered. The fire wasn't our responsibility. Edison, our power company, has admitted certain faults. The people that didn't fill a reservoir, admitted certain negligence. But again, can't sue us for this. Wait, we're not going to fix your house. They don't want to fix these houses. You guys don't get it. They don't want to rebuild on the beach. Grant Cardone put that up best. Search Grant Cardone videos. The uncertainty of your job, I am telling you, I know people that are brilliant that cannot find work right now. I know people that are, the equivalent of a 300 hitter in baseball. I just can't do it. Can't do it. People need to plan for what's coming for every aspect of this. We've seen the problems with these daycare centers in Minnesota, and this is the beginning of it. How is it wrong to question, these places? I like these people get interviewed, talk about how this is terrible and they're being singled out and taken advantage of. And this one guy was talking about how their records got stolen, which is funny. And the guy's wearing a $2,500 pair of eyeglasses. Do you have a pair of $2,500 eyeglasses? Taking care of children? No. Running a daycare is a labor of love. And it is a labor of helping the youth, women that want to be teachers. I just go back to what my kids did. And the criminality that we're seeing right now is unbelievable. It is a profit center. And here's something that's funny for you, to be opportunistic. That Leering Center, people are making t-shirts and they're selling tens of thousands of those Leering Center t-shirts because it's so preposterous. But there's somebody that has a Printify account, can go out, make the logo, put it on a shirt, and they have no website. They have a link, and they can make tens of thousands of dollars overnight. Florida has shifted to a buyer's market, but you're seeing a buyer's market across America. Yes, there's hot markets. I live in a hot market. I live in an area that you put a house on the market and it goes 5 days. Or my favorite thing is the pocket listing, where people say, listen, we're not going to mention this but this house at, on Clarissa is going to be a private showing, and it starts at $2.5 million. So bravo. As deals fall apart, you're going to see more and more people that are going to back out of real estate. But it's the unforeseen costs that people just don't put pen to paper to. We have to be a homeowner. No, you don't. You don't have to own a house right now. You have no idea the unforeseen costs when the plumbing goes out, the electrical goes out, everything. It's funny. I have a friend of mine who had a light in his house. the light wouldn't go. It was very, very dull inside the room. And I'm like, oh, call Tom. Tom's he's a retired electrician. He can come out there and fix it for you and take a look at it. I mean, it's got to be probably going to cost you lunch to do that. And okay, I'll call Tom tomorrow. That night, the guy called me. He goes, God, I feel so stupid. I'm glad I didn't get him out here. Why? Well, I had no idea that there was a little tiny dimmer switch on the side of one of the switches that made it so the room was really dark. And my kids were showing me how they could play it and go up and down with it, and they were messing with it. But he would have called a guy out there, paid him, because he would have had to pay him to get out there, and you just don't know the joys of owning a house. Now, when it comes to 2026, one thing that I do, and people hate the word resolutions. Resolutions are a joke, guys. You have to have goal setting. I have a friend who is a business colleague and a mentor and a smart guy. and we bounce ideas off each other, and we do texts back and forth, and he's just absolutely brilliant. But he has set up some of the coolest businesses very quickly using AI. And he has taught himself to do this because he's tired of the IT engineers. Now, one thing that I did this year was I set up my video sharing site. And a year ago at this time, I was dealing with a very large company that you guys have heard of, and they were going to do this. And it was just problem after problem after problem with them, to where I canceled the deal and said, now this is, the money you're asking for is obscene, is what I told them. And I need to regroup and start all over again. And I found somebody else that was going to do it. And the guy was talking good. It's a one-man band. You know, you haven't dealt with an IT engineer, Dan. You've just dealt with IT tech people. Okay. So we get down to it. We start laying it out. Didn't pay him any money because it was just to that point that was like time frame, the things, the demands that I would make. And the guy wigged out, and I can't do this. This is going to be too demanding. Well, he wasn't capable of doing it. Problem is, people can't admit what they don't know. You want to fix 2026? Admit what you don't know. Get knowledge, get training for your health. As I, start this year off and I work on my fitness and my health and everything, you need to work on every aspect of your fitness and your financial fitness, your goals. Eat better, take better care of yourself, have better relationships with your children, with your friends, with everybody. It's funny, New Year hits and my kids call me, and I'm really proud of something my son did. Think about this. I want you to know I did something, and I didn't know if I could follow through with it, and I'll send it to you, but I kept track of every dollar I made in 2025. And I made over $20,000, $21,000 more than I made in 2024. And I was like, wow, that's impressive. And he was telling me how he did it and everything. But my son is the guy that will work 3 jobs. My son's, interviewing to look at different places right now in different restaurants while he gets his career doing his filmmaking and acting and all that shenanigans up and running. So I said, one thing that you have to look at, son, is that, let's just say it's $20,000 more. Let's say it's $1,800 more a month. You don't have $20,000 more in savings right now. You just don't. Dead silence. And I said, so you made all this money, and let's face it, your expenses didn't go up. You paid your car off. You got your insurance. You got your gas. You got your rent. You got your heating and your electricity bill. But the rest of that money was spent living large. You went to Patriots games. You went to Fenway Park. Went, snowboarding recently. I said, you've lived a really good life, but, which you should. And when you're 24 years old, you should do all that stuff. But think about how much better your life and how much safer it would be as if you had that 20 grand sitting in the bank right now. He's like, oh my God, I never thought of it that way. $5,000 more, $10,000 more. You'd feel better. Now, he doesn't have credit card debt. He's not lost. He's not stupid and making more money and pissing it away on both ends. He's not doing that. But the point is that you've got to go out and look at your finances, because the conversation that we had was, Grant, you watch my videos. What if you make $20,000 less this year? Are you prepared for that? Or are you prepared to make the $20,000 more? People need to educate themselves and admit what they don't know. And his whole thing was, the budget, the money savings, and what he has to do. So take that advice. Take the advice from a 24-year-old kid that you have to be better and look at knowledge. I'm telling you, it's such an exciting time to be around. It's the printing press has just been invented. Henry Ford just developed the assembly line. You've got the internet just got developed. Wow, you can have a website, people can go to it, they can swipe their credit card and buy stuff. Now you have no excuse because you have artificial intelligence. Oh, I'm too old for that. Can you fire up the computer? Can you watch this video? Well, you can learn things on this. Do not be unprepared for 2026. Prepare yourself and admit what you don't know. If it's relationships, if it's the epidemic of loneliness. I hate hearing about this stuff. I hate this. As I went out for New Year's Eve and people got dressed up and I got invited to a party and you saw different couples, and I'm thinking, what makes these people to where they can be together? They're not all the most attractive people. They're not all the most charming, but they're together laughing, dancing, having a good time. And you need to look at that. You need to look at getting yourself out there. But I am telling you this right now, and I don't care if it's snowing outside, because my son in 16 degrees is having a great time. As insane as that sounds. Make yourself better in 2026. You can do this. I am writing down all my goals, and you don't share them. You don't, here's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to show you. No. Write them down. You win in silence. You have your friends, you have your colleagues, you have your trusted confidants, but you don't have to live your life that, I'll show you. It doesn't work that way. Sometimes it does. Doesn't work well. Go out and fix yourself, guys. I have a buddy of mine who is a retired NYPD cop who said, you know what I'm doing for New Year's Eve? I'm going on a cruise all by myself. I'm going to go hang out. I'm going to laugh. I'm going to meet people. I'm going to relax. And I'm going to go down to the Caribbean. Good for him. So he's having a great time and relaxing. But you need to do that. You need to clear your head. Now, can we all afford a vacation? Of course not. But remember this one thing. It's my favorite saying. And it came from the most unlikely place. And it was, deeds, not words, is what counts most. And there's different variations of that. But it's not what you say, it's what you do. Get it done. Be happy. Make yourself happy. Create your own happiness. Someone's money, a better job, certain women in your life, certain things are not going to do it for you. You need to have this from within. And don't let 2026, don't start it without a plan. And the plan is to succeed. My son's plan got derailed today a little bit because I'm very proud of him. He made all that extra money, and it's just sheer hustle. That hustle culture that people bitch and moan about, that they don't understand it. They don't have kids. They don't even get it. These people that don't get work ethic, true work ethic, are their own enemies. Work on your health, work on your happiness. But man, oh man, oh man. Girl I'm dating, her mother has more friends in her late 70s than ever. Volunteers at different places and has more friends. And she and I were talking yesterday. I said, could you imagine if your mom didn't do this? Because when my mom was alive, she went to a retirement apartment complex, and at first it was, how dare you guys send me here? You hate me, blah, blah, blah. And that lasted about a week and a half. Oh my gosh, the fun stuff they're doing? Well, if you're old, you can do it, and you can do it too. But go out and find out what interests you and get off the sofa. Learn how to cook. Learn that there are people that have like-minded interests, whether it's politics, whether it's finances, whether it's stamp collecting. I don't care. Silver stacking, there's people that can do this. And don't pay any money. Do them for free and enjoy yourself. Okay? But don't be a victim of 2026. Don't be unprepared. Prepare yourself. And when you wake up a year from now, just like I did, and I opened up that envelope and had everything done, and I knew what was in the envelope, so it was not really a shock to me. But I got everything accomplished. And it's the first, and as I do my new 2026 rules and goals and things I'm going to do, my birthday's in February, and I have goals of things I'm going to have done before my birthday, and I need to work on them today. So you do the same. Don't be unprepared. Make good choices. Be kind. Mend fences. Say you're sorry if you're supposed to say you're sorry. And if they don't accept it, you made the effort to say you're sorry. Don't ever forget that. I had a very smart psychologist tell me the impact of apologizing and mending fences starts with the person to do it. Now, I've done this myself and had people piss on it, but they've also come back around and said, I really appreciate that you said that, blah, 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 blah. Okay? So Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But your heart is in the right place and you need to be well intentioned. I am telling you one thing that I am so grateful for is my gift to sit there and say, hello, my name is Dan. And the people that want to work with me in 2026, oh, we want to sponsor your channel. We want to do this. Great, we're going to have a conversation about this. You know, it's funny, my gold contract is up. So interviewing other gold companies and that same gold company, the original gold company. But the idea with it is no, you don't understand. It's not the money, it's who you are and what you do for all of us. That's what I want to talk about. Huh? Not everybody does that. People just go for the paycheck and to go buy a Corvette and look stupid and fat and miserable. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, make good choices. iAllegedly at Gmail is the email right now until they get the website done. It'll be done. It could be done by the time I finish this video, but just get ready, okay? You're going to win in 2026. And the only way you're going to do that as we celebrate 250 years in this country is to be part of it. Do what you want to do. Do you like football? You like soccer? Do what you want to do. You want to go to the Olympics? You want to do all this stuff the next few years? Plan for it. Go do it. Go travel. Don't be unprepared. If you're going to buy a house, investigate. Investigate everything. Investigate buying a car. You know, not everybody has my friend, you know, Tom, that can sit there and buys and sells cars all day long and, you know, fixes them up and turns them and flips them and stuff like that. But he's the perfect guy to walk into any dealership and start asking questions. Whoa, 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 hey, you're not buying the car? No, it's for my friend. Okay? It's a great guy to have in your back pocket. Okay? Be prepared. I will see you soon. It's going to be an amazing year. We're going to win. I like the challenge that I'm making these lists, that I have to be able to do this and be able to be successful. Don't fight with others. Don't pick fights. Just wish people well. People get sick. People lose jobs. Businesses fail. And sometimes it's not their fault. Sometimes it's the climate. You're seeing big companies go out of business. But man, oh man, oh man. If you see the stuff I see, the stuff that gets sent to me that I research on, the banks that are in trouble, the major retailers are in trouble. The fact that Sprinkles, think about this. In 2005, the Sprinkles Cupcake Company was started here in California. They had so many locations. The woman that started, I think her name was Denise. I think that's her name. Sold it to private equity in 2012 for a mountain of money to where she will never have to work. You know, again, she won't be painting anything other than her nails. She will be living large because of that money. Sprinkles, the cupcake place, went out of business on New Year's Eve here in Southern California. All the locations shuttered because no one wants a $21 cupcake. Private equity booted it and blew it. Okay? Look it up. I'll put the story below for you. Reach out anytime. iAllegedly at Gmail temporarily, and then that gets shut off again. See you soon. Make good choices. Happy 2026 to everybody. I love each and every one of you. The winners will be announced as soon as that site goes up. Okay? I'll see you soon.